East Asia has interested me since I was pretty young. I started out watching like Hayao Miyazaki, like anime movies when I was like 2, 3 years old. So from there I was just like a little bit interested, went into middle school and had a little bit more experience with like more Chinese, Japanese than Korean, which is what I'm studying now. But from there it just kind of, I was interested very slightly here and there, not really sure, just knew that I had an interest. And then I did various language camps and found out about a scholarship to study abroad in South Korea, and I just kind of applied on a whim, and I got in. So I was able to spend the summer in South Korea in high school, and I really loved it, and from there I just decided to keep studying.
My name is Samuel Reel.
And what started your interest in East Asia?
It started when I was about 10. My parents and I, we went on a vacation overseas. We went to Tokyo, Singapore, and Indonesia. That's kind of when it started for me.
So which language did you decide to study?
I major in Chinese.
And why did you choose Chinese?
I don't have a specific reason. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Does it still seem like a good idea?
I mean, I have days where I'm not so sure, but yeah, I love it. I don't regret it.
Well, I actually grew up speaking Chinese with my family, but so when I came to KU, I figured that I should make the most out of my college education and take some more formal classes. And then I realized the more Chinese classes I took, the more interested I was, not only in the language, but also in the culture and just so many aspects of it, like modern literature, film, and so on. And so that's when I kind of decided that I wanted to go more in depth with that and then actually major in Chinese.
Yes. So you've studied abroad several times. Tell us a little bit about your study abroad experiences.
Nothing, even studying abroad. I did 2 summers in Korea previously, the one in high school and then one after my freshman year. And even though I was there 2 different times, nothing prepared me for this time I was here for the semester. Definitely going for a longer amount of time and spanning into like winter, not just like summer when everything's fun. And nothing prepared me for it at all. Like I thought it was going to be the same, really exciting, new experiences, like all of the good things, but I was not even prepared for like, homesickness. I'd never been homesick before, and when you live in a culture and you know you're going to leave in 6 weeks, it's easy to ignore the things that kind of annoy you. But when you're there for months and months and months and months, you have to figure out new ways of adapting instead of just ignoring.
So when you study abroad and you're actually living in that place, you kind of realize that you have to adjust your daily routine to fit that place. Sometimes at first it was a little bit hard, and I definitely did get homesick at times, but then I realized that the more effort I put into kind of making Taipei my new home, the more I started to fall in love with it. And it was just really neat to see just basically how people went about their everyday lives and just how different it was compared to people living in Kansas. And so it really builds in me an appreciation for different cultures and also just the way that different people live.
Straight after I graduated from KU, I came to Korea and started teaching English, which is something that I would highly recommend as a way for you just to kind of go and experience the country that you're studying about. I got a job and worked for 3 years, and I realized that I really loved English teaching. And so then I ended up going back and getting my master's degree in education from Seattle University. And actually now I'm back in Korea again. That's why I'm doing this remotely. I'm back in Korea again, and I've started my own school. So you can see One World Language. This is my own institute that I've started up with my wife, who is Korean. We have started our own language school. We teach Korean language, English language, and Chinese as well. And we're kind of expanding from there soon to start up Spanish and Japanese programs also.
My group ended up choosing Gyeongju, which is the old Shilla capital from like the Three Kingdoms of South Korea, and it is in the southern portion of the peninsula. And so it was like a 3-hour bus ride. We were going right in the middle of fall, so like it is beautiful. The Korean countryside is absolutely beautiful in the fall specifically. And this was my first time really away from the big city, so I got to see more like what the rest of Korea looked like. And it's definitely kind of day and night, because you go to Seoul and it's just like this metropolis of huge buildings and like everything's so high-tech, so fast-paced, and like constantly going. And the countryside is very much the opposite. Very slow, still like what I always imagined Korea was like before the war. Like not a lot has changed, and that really, like I heard about that being the case, but actually like seeing it's really shocking. Yes. After living in the big city for so long.
Yeah, one thing I really wanted to do, because I knew on this trip I wanted to go out to the desert, see a part of China that most people don't really know about. And I decided if I was going to go to the desert, I wanted to ride a camel. It seemed like a fun idea. So I did that, and it was so much fun. Like the moment the camel stood up as I was riding it, I just felt pure joy. I can't explain it. I don't know why.
Korea, Japan, China, these are countries that have great opportunities for foreigners. They have thriving economies, and I think they're amazing places to live.
After I graduate, basically right after I graduate, I want to go back to South Korea as an English teacher and kind of get that going, get some experience. I've met a lot of people who are there as English teachers already, and it sounds like something that just really interests me. I want to go into education, so that I feel will be a good foothold. And then after I get the experience, I do want to go to graduate school and go into ESL, like at a collegiate level.
Tell me how you think your language skills or your knowledge of East Asia will help you when you're out in the world looking for a job.
I hope to work abroad, especially in China. I also study accounting, and so eventually one day I'd like to work as a forensic accountant.
Tell me a little bit more about forensic accounting.
Forensic accounting, a lot of forensic accountants investigate fraud, but some are they also consult on legal matters.
So you would work for, what kind of a company would you work for?
I would probably work for a Big Four accounting firm, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, one of those firms.
I really want to do freelance translating and interpreting, and I know for that type of job it's not a matter of just knowing 2 languages on a technical level, but it's really important to gain a cultural competency and cultural awareness as well, especially when you're dealing face-to-face with a client and then translating different ideas from one culture to another. And so after I graduate, I'm hoping I can take on more cases just to build experience, but I'm also trying to find some ways that I can keep on increasing my cultural awareness as well, and then especially in the language aspect, build my Chinese up to a more professional level.
Go get your passport, get out, go experience the world, and learn languages and appreciate what's out there.